Hi, welcome to Tya Talk. I am David Strickle, creator of the Tya Mindset Practice. I am going to talk a little bit today about transmuting pain. And I'm not talking about emotional pain. I guess it would work on emotional pain, but we're really talking about physical pain because the experience of something, and this is definitely a Tya belief. So it's a chosen belief, but it's a belief when chosen absolutely works. And I've heard from people all over the world that I've taught this to tell me they've used this technique and they have found some relief in it. And it's about understanding that everything that we experience in life is designed to expand us as an eternal consciousness being, everything. And everything that we experience in life is actually our own manifested reality. Now, that certainly doesn't mean that everything that we experience in life is something that we necessarily want or order up, saying, yes, I want this. Because what I hear very often when you start talking about law of attraction is, well, I would have never asked for it. Well, you don't ask by desiring or wishing or dreaming necessarily. In fact, sometimes that even backfires on you, because if you wish and dream so hard, what you're really broadcasting is the vibration of it's not here. But we have this mixed bag of things that we're experiencing in our lives, and some of them absolutely are wanted and some are not wanted. And we know that discerner of preference, that is our ego consciousness, not our eternal source consciousness. Our eternal source consciousness is appreciation of all that is. But our ego consciousness discerns preference. So our ego consciousness, absolutely, as long as we are alive, as long as we are in a physical state, is going to experience things that it discerns as not a preference. But in this matrix of this human created matrix of beliefs that we operate in, we have this notion that the things that we don't prefer should not be. They shouldn't exist. We shouldn't be experiencing them. There's something wrong with us if we're experiencing them. There's something wrong with the world if things aren't going the way that we prefer. And it's very interesting that placing that should not be label is really what creates suffering. So there's a difference between discerning a preference away from something and suffering. And it's interesting also to me that in the Matrix, we are taught to really push against the things that aren't our preference. We've got to fight it. We've got to battle it. We've got to eradicate it. We've got to do away with it. We've got to ghost it. Whatever it is, we have to make it go away because it's not our preference. But very often, the things that are not our preference don't go away. They stick around, or they'll go away for a while and they come back around. And that's because of vibrational flow. Because in that lower vibrational state, we are thinking about the things that we don't want. We're fearing the things that we don't want. We're labeling things as should not be. And we're attracting that experience or something like it again and again and again. And then vibrational flow will also take us up into higher vibration, where we'll feel some relief naturally from anything and everything that we're experiencing. But the trick here is that we're in this matrix of beliefs that keeps leading us back into that lower vibrational state. And really, the purpose of that is the reason that developed that way is because that lower vibrational state is more controlling of us. When we are in fear, when we are in pain, when we're labeling things as should not be, we're not as powerful. And I'm not here to spin some conspiracy theory about a cabal of people that are trying to limit everyone, but there is absolutely a human-created vibration that tries to limit. There's evidence of this all around us. You just turn on any type of media or news, and you will hear a message that is very judgmental, low vibration, labeling things as should not be, spinning fear, spinning conspiracy theories, and things like this. And that tends to lower us into a less powerful state of being. But we all know when we raise our vibration, when we get up into that source space of appreciating all that is, we create, we manifest, we see more of the things that we want flow into our lives and fewer of the things that we don't want. So why would you continue to allow things to enter your sphere of reality that would lower your vibration? Polarity is going to take it down a bit naturally. but we don't need to allow external things to lower our vibration. And we certainly don't need our belief system to be one that lowers our vibration. So how do we solve that? Well, for a while, shutting down all of the external things that we choose to bring in, whether it's social media or watching the news or watching violence on television or whatever it is for a period, it helps to shut that stuff down because you're taking things off the table that are lowering your vibration. But they're only lowering your vibration because you're allowing them to. You are diving right into that judgment that broadcast or whatever it is guiding you into, and you're becoming party to it. And we're really, really, really trained that way in our society. The matrix runs on that. So for a while, it is helpful to learn to shut that stuff down. If it's lowering my vibration, I don't need it in my life. Period. Whatever it is, I need to get it out of my life for a while until I clean up my belief system. So then I can go back into the matrix with my own armored, really, with my own belief system, understanding that stuff can be fed to me. I don't have to consume it. I don't have to buy into it. I can observe it from a higher perspective, appreciate that maybe the person is trying to spin a conspiracy theory or some type of fear-based thought, and be open-minded about hearing what they have to say. And sometimes what they have to say is not necessarily untrue, but it's the fear component. It's they're out to get you, they're coming for you, this is going to harm you in some way. And absorbing that in a belief, that's what lowers your vibration. Not the fact that someone's questioning something. As far as I'm concerned, questioning things is a high vibration. Being open-minded enough to look at something and say, maybe this person has a point. That's a high vibration. But maybe they has a point and I better be scared. That's a whole different experience. So if you've been running on the matrix for your whole life, and most of us have, and you are consuming things and you realize that you're feeling little triggers or maybe big triggers when you're consuming this stuff, you've got to stop and ask yourself, is this worth going down my spiral over? Is this something I need to consume right now? The matrix teaches this mindset that you've got to be informed. Smart people are informed people. You know what's going on in the world. You've got your finger on the pulse of everything going on in society all the time. But do you really? Is your version of being informed just knowing every negative or unwanted thing that's going on in the world while not layering on also the positive things? Notice how humanity tends to flock to the negative. If you look at the highest rated shows on television, they generally are about some sort of what you might consider negative thing, especially the news programs. The people that sit and do nothing but complain and spin fear do very, very well. Sitting and just sending out a positive message of love and abundance and all of that doesn't sell as well as sitting and saying this person is wrong and that person is wrong and this is going to hell and this is going to come and negatively impact your life and these people are coming to get you. That's the way to get ratings in this world, is to spin fear, because it plugs right into the matrix. It all lights up, and you've got all these people that are so addicted to the matrix. They're so steeped in that operating system that it just lights them up, and they want more of it, and they just can't consume enough of this negative information. And then you see it start to play out in their lives. So the key to not being drawn into all of that stuff is to do enough inner work that you've shifted your belief system to one where you're no longer judging and fearing the way that you once were. And to bring this back around to alleviating pain, even physical pain, it is always about alleviating the judgment of it. This is what I'm experiencing. This is what I've created for myself. What is the value here? How do I move through this experience differently? How can I choose to move through this pain experience in a way that dissipates the pain? How can I dive into appreciation of the pain? What is it offering me right now? Think about it. When you are feeling physical pain, you can raise your vibration and appreciation, even if you have to take yourself off the topic of the physical pain itself and try to find some other external things to appreciate. And then through that appreciation exercise, you've soothed yourself a bit. maybe just a little bit, especially if you've got like screaming chronic pain, but you've managed to soothe yourself a bit, even if it's just a little degree of relief. You have mentally created some relief from your pain in that appreciation of other things. Then you move into appreciation of the pain itself. And then you start to work with, how can I perceive this differently? Because if you understand what painkillers do, especially things like opiates, these beta blocker type things, that the pain experience is still happening, but it's disrupting the signal to your brain. So the signal to your brain, the way that our physical vehicles are designed, the pain signal to your brain is simply to alert you that something is off. I have hurt myself in some way, or I've got something that's in my body that is disruptive to its natural flow. And it's simply information. But in the matrix, we have been taught to negatively judge the information. We have been taught this crazy notion that we're not supposed to experience every aspect of our physical vehicle, including aging, including the painful aspects of it, that this should not be. You shouldn't be experiencing that. You need to take this drug so you don't experience this anymore. You need to do something so you no longer experience this. Yet it is the thing that we've manifested. So what if we teach ourselves a different belief system where we literally appreciate every aspect, the entire spectrum of being physically manifested, which includes pain, which includes loss, which includes separation sometimes from people that we care about. Sometimes what seems like permanent separation from people that we care about very much, or pets. But what if we get to craft our own belief system where the ending of a relationship, or the feeling of pain, whether it's emotional or physical, isn't bad or wrong or should not be? What if we move right into radical acceptance of, this is what we're experiencing? I'm experiencing the loss of my beloved pet. I'm experiencing the loss of a child. I'm experiencing the ending of a relationship. I'm experiencing the aging of my physical vehicle. I'm experiencing physical pain. I'm experiencing some sort of illness that has this dire label placed on it in the matrix. This is what I'm experiencing. Therefore, it can't be wrong, because it's what I've manifested for myself, this experience, even if it involves other people. Don't get so deep in the beginning of this practice and concerning yourself about what their journey is. Why would my child have manifested dying of leukemia, in childhood? That's crazy. That's crazy to think that a child would desire. Well, it's not about desire. It's about, this is what the soul came to experience. The soul came to experience an experience in physical, as a human being in the earth environment, for the gifts that were offered in that experience. And we have endless physical experiences. It's helpful to include that in your belief system. You don't have to. In Tya, there's no rules of have to include anything, but there are some baseline beliefs that are helpful in the practice. And I will always share with you what those are. And it's up to you whether you want to absorb those and include those in your belief system or not. I believe that we are here having this very temporary human physical experience, and that we're all eternal beings. If I'm right in that belief, then it takes the pressure off of this life. If I am wrong in that belief, it doesn't matter, because it's simply a belief that I'm choosing. I'm crafting my own belief system. If I choose to believe that I'm an eternal being, for me, it takes the pressure off of this lifetime. It doesn't mean that I would like to have a longer, healthier, happier, more abundant life. I'm in this experience. And as far as I know, this is the only version of this I'm going to experience. Yes, there are infinite possibilities, and I believe there are infinite lifetimes, but this is unique. This experience on planet Earth as the human being known as David Strickle is a unique experience for me. It could have lasted a couple of years, a couple of decades, many decades. We're at year 55 in this now. So we'll see where it goes. But if it ends tomorrow, then it's the experience that I had. And if my being ceases to be and it ends tomorrow, then I cease to be. I'm not going to know that. And the only people that are going to suffer in that are going to be any others that judge the length of my experience. But I'm asking you not to. If my experience ends tomorrow, my experience was glorious. My experience was wonderful. I experienced all of the things that my soul chose to come here and have. And even if that soul is extinguished in that demise of the physical vehicle, it doesn't matter. The Matrix teaches us that it matters. The Matrix teaches us a belief in perhaps a religion or something that, it has to be this. It doesn't. So my belief system, I have a baseline belief that I'm an eternal being having a temporary human experience, but it's my chosen belief system. We all get to choose what we believe, and we create our own reality in that choice, period. And there's evidence of that all around us. Look at the tapestry of beliefs that exist in this world. And I was raised in a scenario, like many of you were, where our belief was the only belief. This is the belief that everyone's supposed to have. And if you don't have this belief, there's something wrong with you and you're going to go to hell even. I'll never forget telling my older brother about this girl that I met. I know it's kind of funny to hear me talking about meeting a girl, but I was really liking this girl, not really in a physical way, but I was liking this girl. And she was from Iran, and she was this beautiful Persian girl, and she was a Muslim. And how my brother was judging me for dating a Muslim. I said, well, why would you judge me for dating a Muslim? It was the last girl I ever dated. And I said, this is what she was born into. This is the belief system of her people in her land. How could all of those people be wrong? And his belief at that time was that they were wrong. They're all wrong. All Muslims. Big portion of the planet, they're all wrong. They're all going to hell. That's it. End of story. Unless they repent and accept Jesus Christ as their savior, they're all going to go to hell. So God created all these people and placed them over here in this land, and they developed this belief system, but it's the wrong belief system. So their eternity is going to be hell. And that never made sense to me. It absolutely never made sense to me. Somehow it seems to still make sense to him. If you go on Amazon.com right now, you can see, if you type in Strickle, you'll see there are 2 books on Amazon by authors named Strickle. One is me and one is my brother. Our books are very different. One is The Stream, Eternal Wisdom for a Better Life. The other, I forget what it's leadership something, but it's a Christian leadership book. So my brother and I couldn't be more different. We don't talk about those things when we talk, but we both are published authors now, and with very, very different mindsets, both steeped in some type of spirituality, though. Kind of interesting. So to bring this back around, where we're talking about physical pain, the experiencing of the physical pain is your manifestation. The judgment of the physical pain is your suffering. So you don't have to suffer in physical pain. Hi, Cheryl. I see you on live. Good to see you again. Yeah, the break with Christianity, that happens for a lot of people that find their way to these teachings. And the interesting thing is that I believe it is possible to be a Christian and be a Tya practitioner if that's your choice. The interesting thing is that a lot of Christian religions would not allow you to be a Christian and tell you that you're righteous in the practice of Tya. And that's where I have a problem, is that, okay, the dogma and this teaching that this is the only truth and the one truth, and we simply don't see that in the world. You see that in your community, perhaps. I was raised in the South in a small town. The biggest building in town was the First Baptist Church. And the most beautiful building in town was the First Methodist Church, in my opinion. That was my church that I went to. And they sat across from each other downtown, sort of like, ready to face off. And religion is a very big thing there. Christianity is a very big thing there. I was not aware of anyone that was not Christian in my hometown. Now, luckily, I was a television junkie as a kid. My mother wasn't really involved in my life, so I watched many hours of television every afternoon into the evening until I fell asleep on the sofa. And I was exposed to a lot of different beliefs just via television. So that ended up being a very good thing for me as a child. And then, of course, getting out into the world and meeting people and realizing that, well, wait a minute, not everybody believes what most of the people in my little hometown or my family believe. And realizing that there are all these different belief systems out there. And who are we to judge what's right and what's wrong? So in Tya, we don't. In Tya, we accept that, hey, we're in a matrix. We're creating a human created belief system that drives your reality, really. So when I started learning about law of attraction years and years ago, when I was very young, started really trying to figure out and reading some books about it because I had a basic understanding of it just naturally. I came to understand that law of attraction isn't really just about trying to will things into being. It's about your belief system more than affirmations or sitting and trying to conjure or manifest things intentionally. That sells books. It sells seminars. Everyone wants to be rich. So yeah, I'm the guru that's going to tell you how to get rich. Come to my seminar and I'm going to tell you how to use the law of attraction to attract lots of money or better health or the perfect partner or whatever it is. That's a very popular belief. And I do believe it works for some people. But ultimately, I saw more frustration in those teachings than I saw success. That's why I focus on belief systems, that your happiness and your abundance and your health and your experiencing of life is all rooted in your belief system. And I serve to be living proof of someone who is living an imperfect existence, as we all do, who is sharing with all of you my journey of how I'm operating this lifetime from this chosen belief system. And my chosen belief system, I believe, is as stripped of the matrix as I can possibly get it. It absolutely is. I really wanted a belief system rooted in what I believe to be universal law, that all attraction, that all creation occurs via attraction, all that attraction is governed by polarity. Period. So once you move even a degree beyond that, you're getting yourself back into the matrix. So that's why everything about Tya goes back to those two universal laws. Raise your vibration and have a better life. How do you raise your vibration? You raise your vibration by eliminating the things that lower it. Well, early on in your Tya practice, you will find that external things are lowering your vibration. And then you will come around to understanding that the external things really aren't lowering your vibration. Your reaction to them is what's lowering your vibration. But early on, it's helpful because it's helpful to receive clarity, to be in a higher vibrational state of being more of the time. That's why in the Tya practice, we start out eliminating the external things that you allow to lower your vibration, not trying to jump ahead to mastery level, trying to really work on your belief system so much, because when you start trying to if you make step one trying to work just on your belief system without eliminating all the things that you're embattled with, then you're going to have a harder time because you're going to be in a lower vibration more of the time. You see, that lower vibrational state of being is the thing that keeps you from believing and keeps you from growing and keeps you from expanding and really keeps you in this repetitive cycle of a mix of wanted and unwanted things, but very often more unwanted than your preferences. So early on in the Tya practice, it's helpful to start eliminating the things, walling off the things that lower your vibration. Maybe this is where cults get all of that separation from everything. I'm not trying to be a cult. If this is, operate as a cult, I don't care. I don't judge that. But I'm not telling anyone that you must cut off your family and you must cut off all media and you must come live on the compound. We're not going into that space. I believe that everybody has the power to discern a preference for, okay, how does this make me feel? Is this conversation a good conversation or is it a lower vibrational conversation? Somebody messaged me the other day that I don't really talk too much anymore, and they said something about closure. And I don't feel a need for closure in that relationship because I don't have any issues with the relationship. I just feel like the relationship ran its course. And when we were no longer vibing for whatever reason, there was just a separation that was created vibrationally, and it's okay. I don't consider that person an enemy or even a former friend or any of that stuff. I don't need any closure because I'm okay with it the way that it is. In the matrix, I'm cold, I'm callous, I'm hiding from something and all of that sort of thing. But I'm just not guided. And I know when I'm in high vibration that I'm just not guided to have an interaction at the moment. If the interaction happens organically, great. But I'm not going to go seek it out because I just don't feel the need for that stuff. So Early on in your Tya practice, yes, limiting your exposure to things that you know drag your vibration down so that you can keep your vibration up, and you've got to do work. You've got to prop it up. I don't want to say falsely, but you've got to mentally prop up your vibration for a while so that you have the higher vibration fuel to do the real work of changing your belief system. Because if you are in the matrix and you're trying to get out of it, and you raise your vibration, you do a little work, you do some meditation, you do some appreciation, you get your vibration up here, and you just revel in it. Oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. This is so glorious. But inevitably, you have been in the matrix for so long that vibration is so well established that it's very easy to get drawn right back into it. It's designed that way. It just is. So the more you can choose to cut yourself off from the things or limit the things that you know lower your vibration for a while, so that you can then do the work on your belief system, transforming your belief system and creating a new belief system for yourself that's rooted in universal law, systematically raising your vibration, systematically being more intentional with what you want to experience and focusing on that. Those are the things that improve your life. Those are the things that are going to deliver more abundance and more joy and more clarity. All those things are bundled together. So Cheryl is asking, how did I approach that with the person that wanted closure? The response can be received as callous, and they aren't intended that way. I think honesty is just good sometimes. The way that I approach that, I decided that if I started putting a lot of caveats on how this interaction would take place, that would lower the vibration around the whole thing. You know, this person reached out, said they wanted to get closure and have a meeting, and I agreed to it. I didn't go on and say, well, I don't need to have that. I just thought to myself, my vibration was, well, I don't really need this, but if this other person does and they want to chat, it's fine. But if they want to dredge up all of this other stuff, I'm going to end the conversation because I just don't care to go there. And I don't have to have any conversation that I don't want to have. So the interesting thing is I did the detuning. I'd already done the detuning around the sort of ending of the relationship. And I did the detuning of judgment around this interaction. Well, guess what? The interaction didn't happen. The other person called off the interaction. And I said, okay, fine. That's fine with me. And really, there hasn't been anything since then. I think there was sort of a, let's reschedule this for some other time. I just haven't really acted upon it because I'm not the one feeling the need, and I wasn't the one that canceled it. So I'm good. And if this interaction happens organically, where it's just the crossing of paths, then it will be fine. But, if I go in armored with, being ready to go to battle, then I'm going to create that reality for myself. So it's just about being okay. I don't like to use the word indifferent because indifference usually is a negative judgment. You're sort of, purposely being indifferent about something. I'm just an appreciation. Appreciation is a higher vibration than indifference. And the way I approached the whole thing was just appreciation of the relationship, appreciation of the fact that they seem to want to have an interaction and get closure. It was fine. I think if I had gone into the judgment of, well, I'm a Tya practitioner and I don't need closure. If I would have really activated that vibration, then that would have been a different outcome for sure. So it's understanding that, not worrying about how it's perceived by them. They're having their experience. And if you are in nothing but authentic appreciation of them, your outcome is going to be positive for you. And if it's not positive for them, then that's their experience. And if they're judging you or labeling you, that's their experience as well. I love that saying, what someone else thinks about me is none of my business. So it's appreciating beyond the concern of how you're perceived. That's the best advice that I have as far as that goes. Just having appreciation enough of the experience, and everything is just an experience. Physical pain is just an experience. The ending of a friendship is just an experience. The ending of a relationship is just an experience. Death is even just an experience. The exiting of someone from our lives in one way or another is just an experience. But we've been taught in the matrix to label it as should not be. The labeling it as a should not be creates all the suffering. So in our belief system, we are teaching ourselves to no longer label anything as should not be. That's the key. That's the key right there. And then when you've crafted a belief system and you've detuned that overactive, overdeveloped ego enough to where it's simply serving you as a discerner of preference, which is really what it was designed to do in the first place, and you're allowing your source being, i.e., your appreciation of all that is, to be your general vibration, then you're loving life. You're loving every little stupid morsel of life. And I say stupid just because, every little thing that we might label is insignificant. You learn to really love and appreciate the experience of and savor the moment of. And then when you start making that your way of life, you find that you are a very joyful being. And you're not needing the external things to change that you once thought you needed to change in order to be happy. And then when that happens, the external stuff starts to deliver. It starts to transform. It starts to change. Your friendships start to change. People exit your life that are no longer your higher vibrational alignment. And we don't judge them for that. They're having their experience. They may not be doing the work that you're doing, and that's okay. They may be judging the work that you're doing, and that's okay. They're simply having their experience. The matrix serves a purpose. And how lovely it is to understand that and appreciate it and not be part of it. When you're not judging, when you're not fearing, you're not in it. You're not part of it, period. So when you teach yourself to have human experiences and experience all of it, void of judgment, your vibe is high. You are a Tya master at that point. And then you can experience the matrix. You get to go play in the matrix any way and any time that you want. You can turn on the news if you want. You can be on social media if you want. You can interact with people, that don't have a belief system like yours if you want. And in doing so, not judge them. And understand that if you're not judging them triggers them, that's their experience. You don't have to be drawn into it. And then what will happen in time is you'll find yourself not even interacting with anyone like that. They just won't be part of your reality anymore. They fade away. But everything's vibrational. Everything takes time. And yes, every aspect of this takes some work, because you did a lot of work to create this matrix for yourself. Now you're tearing it down and rebuilding it in a more intentional way. And yes, that takes work, but it's a lot of fun once you get into it. It really is. So I hope this helped. I hope that my words were transformative and helpful in your practice today. And if there are topics that you want us to cover, you can simply let us know here on Patreon. If you're not in Patreon, you're watching this in the future on YouTube or something, you can always email us at david@thestreamofdavid.com and let us know what your questions are for the stream. It's still flowing very prolifically. So anything for the stream, any question that you want to ask the universe, and certainly anything that you'd like to see about the Tya practice, I'm here to share it. Thanks so much for watching.